up?
And we live, y'all. We live. Hey, y'all. Hey, it's another episode of Bonafide Podcast featuring the one and only Dylan and Dakota Gonzalez. You guys, this means so much because this is like a special event happening because I had Dylan earlier, episode 25, and then, got to have both Dylan and Dakota. So this is an amazing moment, y'all. So,
Oh,
how are you
yeah.
guys doing?
We're doing great. Actually, this is like a really moment that was kind of the full circle of just a yet to come kind of moment, I would say.
Yeah.
Because, we've been getting it in for a minute, Ashley. We've been working for so long together now. And our conversation earlier was really just about, all the incredible things that we get to do coming up now. And it's so funny because when Dakota and I were sitting and talking, like, okay, we're getting our stuff together now. We're so busy, we're exhausted, or da da da. But we gotta go do this interview with Ash. Okay, let's take the call beforehand. And we're sitting there, and we're just like, oh my goodness, like we really got to get on this interview. We really got to get it together. But we appreciated you understanding, and we appreciate everybody understanding us being like a little late because we've been great, but it's been busy because we've been getting it in. But then you already know we just, all over the map with it. So yeah, it's been great though.
Yeah.
Of course, and first and foremost, we got to give y'all's flowers, especially y'all had, especially this leads to the conversation as we're about to have this conversation. Got to give y'all your flowers and the respect because, like, in so many ways, y'all have changed women's basketball to where in social media presence that's big right now, but y'all have been the blueprint with social media presence in the NIL in women's basketball to where eyes have been, on y'all. And when it comes to like when people hear twins in basketball, it's like y'all the first names to become up and the only names. So it's like we gotta give Dylan Dakota their flowers, y'all, because it is way overdue, and a check in the bank is way overdue.
Hey,
So
cha-ching.
Yes.
We're getting straight to it, huh? Oh, thank you, Ash. That means so
Thank
much to
you.
both of us, for real. Like, and just to everybody who feels that way. And to be fair, it's like when we were originally kind of navigating, pioneering a space we had yet to understand we were pioneering. Um, what we did know was that we were doing something that just hadn't been done before. But we didn't know we were pioneering a lane that essentially would become what it is today. That's ultimately the blueprint for the landscape of, like you said, NIL, the social media culture, the influencer culture, all these different places. And so when it comes to the journey and the experience of what it has really been being those people, I think one of the things that we can definitely testify to is just how much gratitude it actually gave us for all the people who came before us. Like in our journey of this fight, because people forget that too, like how hard it is. And now being on the other side where we do a lot of different things where we really genuinely push and work and move for policy changes. I mean, people don't know out here that your girl has been working in like legal offices and all different types of stuff just to be able to understand what's happening and how to make real changes in the earth, because that's ultimately what we're all about. That's what the legacy of all of this is, what we're seeing unfold before us today. And now we just need y'all to like catch up again because we've been busy working, doing our thing. Everybody's been kind of living off of the, what would Dakota call it? The uh, fruits of our labor.
Definitely that. Definitely
The
that.
fruits of our labor. I think the biggest thing for us at this point when it comes down to it is we're not really in the phase of like asking for respect anymore. It's kind of one of those things of like, if you know, you know. And if you're going to greet us with a certain energy of being willing to show up and show us love, we're going to greet you with that back. And I can say for me personally, I'm going to be nice. I can't always speak for her over here because she's going to keep it whatever is the keep it what they say, keep that same energy. She gonna keep that same energy. So if
Okay.
people are coming over here being disrespectful, they better understand what's really
Just
going on.
recognize the mirror in front of you.
Yeah, because she gonna keep that same energy. I'm gonna be nice. That's kind of one of the differences in understanding Dylan and Dakota. We're two parts of a whole, but we're not the same. We're like the sun and the moon, like literally.
Yeah. So if you're not in the mood to taste your own disrespect, come correct.
Yeah.
It's crazy because as the saying goes, if you're gonna be if the disrespect is gonna be loud, make sure the apology is loud as well. If you're gonna be disrespectful loud, make sure the apology is loud and not quiet. So
Mm-hmm.
like
Yes, Ash.
but let's get it started. So Miss Dylan and Dakota, can you guys tell us like how you got to where you are in your sports journey?
Ooh, you want to start us off this time?
Man, I'll get us started. So, quite frankly, we were like bred for sports.
Yeah.
Our daddy is a legacy in the NFL Hall of Famer, getting his golden jacket. We're fighting for that. And our mother was a professional women's basketball player, Hall of Famer at the University of Kansas and overseas in Germany. And so they came together, made us. So we were literally like, we got sports in our veins, And when we came out the womb, our mom pretty much put a basketball in our hands and we allowed us to fall in love with it for ourselves, as well as, pushing us towards that because she wanted that for us too, to see her daughters kind of follow in her footsteps. And we did that. We picked it up and we found a way to love it for ourselves. And it was a battle, don't get me wrong. But we really started off like as sports babies, just in us. And we played in YMCA leagues. We're going off, getting MVPs. We grew up in Colorado. We're born in Kansas, grew up in Colorado, then moved to Idaho, where it was really difficult actually to be integrated in the basketball space because there really weren't women's programs like that were competitive at the least out there where we were in the area we were in.
They were national traveling programs.
So we would travel like back to Colorado to go play on AAU and then they made this rule where you had to be in bordering states.
Yeah.
So then we had to find new teams. In Utah, we'd go drive 2, 3, 4 hours for practice every week
On a one laner.
with ice
laner.
and snow and sleet
Just-
coming down.
Middle of the night.
And we would have to
Well,
drive, take those treks all the way just to get to practice. And would practice with our team and then have to make the trek back. So it was real hardship and efforts that I'm grateful for our mother for the sacrifices she made to get us there. And then we also put that work in too. And as we got into high school and started playing high school, we were kind of dolo on ourselves. Basketball just was not like the thing then. So there weren't trainers for us. There weren't really coaches for us that were in this space that had connections to colleges. We were really pioneering that space even when we were coming up in high school. Our coaches didn't know really anything. Our mother had some knowledge, but she's like old school, so she didn't really know what the new school was going on.
Yeah.
So it was really up to us to figure it out for ourselves.
Oh,
And
yeah.
our mother would like to say, like, I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make it drink. So we took it on ourselves to be in the gym, putting in the extra work by ourselves, just learning for the love of the game that we had and wanting to get better at this craft. And so we did that. We would do that. And it put us on the map so much to a point that we were the number 1 and 2 player in our country.
Or in our state.
Or in our state, sorry. In our country.
We were top 100.
Not quite.
though.
We were top 100 in the country though. But we
Potato
were
State
number
represent.
1 and 2 in the state of Idaho since our freshman year. And we did our thing in Idaho.
And mind you, we didn't get exposure like that either.
No.
Like, sorry to cut you off.
No,
but, assist.
yeah, it is.
So, yeah, we didn't really get like great exposure like that either. And I want to talk about the other side of like the underground of like, that's like the side of the movie that we see. Now, let me tell you about the other side of what was really happening like internally as we got integrated into the sports process and why we've ultimately built the space and the community that we built today for how it is that we develop young ladies and how it is that we develop young women. And when it comes to the battles that you're really up against when you decide to take this path. Because first and foremost, from my experience, I'm gonna tell you, when I laughed a little bit, it was because of the fact that like this one here, she really led the way with that. That's why she was usually number 1. If I ever came up number 1,
I don't know what
She
was
was having a
happening.
great
I was
season.
just really angry. I was on a rampage. I was angry. Okay. And I was like, I don't give a. So anytime I came up number one is because I cared enough to like start, really putting an effort in. And that's the other thing I would say in my experience was she had to really carry us as far as like setting a standard and a bar for what the work ethic was going to look like. Because I'm going to tell you right here, I grew up with childhood depression, and that might be a little bit of abrupt and brazen way for me to just like throw that at you guys. But yeah, process that because that's a real experience that I had to overcome. And it wasn't like what we talk about today, where sometimes it's either taboo or honestly like embellished and then kind of caricaturized. And then it becomes like a joke or like not serious. And so what I went through as a child, I was immensely depressed. I was way too conscious of a child. I saw myself in the mirror and I saw the world around me and I saw that I didn't look like anybody around me and I had questions and nobody wanted to answer them and nobody wanted to tell me what was going on. And it was a very confusing thing. I'm born a twin. Everybody, she was so great with being like compatible with certain things early on, kind of in the ignorance of it all, that, she was able to go with the flow and kind of allow everything to like paint this beautiful picture of what things could be if she put the work in. But like I said, I had a different experience from my perspective. I was like, this is slavery. I was like, this is terrible. I'm signing up to be trapped for the rest of my life. And then it was especially hard understanding that being a woman, being a young woman, because first of all, I was born with an identity crisis as a twin. We were born with an identity crisis being a twin. And then number two, I was born with an identity crisis because I'm a first generation multicultural mixed race individual. So then Afro individual. And then on top of that, my name is Dylan. Okay, so as a young woman during the era that I grew up in, shout out to Millennial Gang, as a 90s baby, like Dylan was not like everyone's like, oh, that's a girl's name. No, I can't tell you how many times I done heard people tell me that's a girl's name. And I said, so why ain't I ever met a girl named Dylan? It wasn't until this generation where I'm meeting some Generation Zers and even some women, thanks to social media, who are generations ahead of me, I just wasn't exposed to early, who share a namesake with me. But growing up, it was something I got bullied for. I had a real crisis around like embracing even just my name. And then going into the basketball state with all these crises going on, it gave me structure, but I definitely didn't fall in love with the game. And I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to be real with y'all. I probably would have done this if they let me do interviews back then, but I just, I wasn't trustworthy. I would have said whatever I was actually honestly feeling about things. So I understood why I didn't get that privilege at the time, but I didn't really care. So I had my own platform to speak about. So the thing was for me though, during those times, I didn't really give a real effort. Like I was number two in the state and I really didn't try. I didn't go do the workouts. I wasn't working out by myself. I literally showed up to team practice. That was it. Cause they had to like drag me there. Cause I was fighting depression. I was fighting all these battles. I was lost for a long time. I didn't grow up with my biological father around me to be able to identify with my blackness. I'm a Lewis baby. Shout out to the Lewis family, y'all. This in the bloodline as well, in case people got confused about, some of the little gems and facts that we're dropping about our life in here. But you guys, if you're keeping up, you're gonna keep up with the story of how this big, beautiful mural comes together. But yeah, so it was very difficult for me, like going through things emotionally, going through things like not loving the game because the other issue that I found was the coaches and the trainers. And a lot of the things that Dakota and I dealt with was sabotage. Like we got sabotaged every step of the way because we were ahead of the curve. We were something people had never seen before. This was not done in women's sports. You can't wear nails. You can't wear eyelashes. You can't look like a woman and play basketball. This was not. You can't care about these things.
So much hate for that,
Bro.
So much
So
hate.
much hate.
Even from our own parents.
No, from everywhere.
Everywhere, bro. This was something that Dylan and Dakota curated on themselves.
Yeah.
Nobody was supporting this.
Because we didn't
Not the
go
coaches,
forward.
not the players. Then when players started seeing, oh, we like that. Now you see what's up. Now you see what's up.
Because we started a trend. And like Dakota likes to say, we put the T in trend in the win in twin. Okay, hit the twin time, hit the twin time. Okay.
I gotta get my tambourine for that. I gotta get my
So
tambourine.
yeah, so it's like we were doing stuff like that, but getting freaking like drug every step of the way by everybody. I won't say I have beef with anybody, but I definitely got wounds, like for sure. I got nerves that got struck by people who have really like who are on the other end of this, who still don't want to acknowledge that they were that, still are that, like who try to be in my close circles. And so it's like because when we were going up again, they were dragging us. Now all of a sudden, because everybody else says it's cool, everybody else like it's just like, oh yeah, girls, you guys look so great. You're doing so awesome. And it's like, so we're just not going to acknowledge the fact that y'all literally crucified us. Literally crucified us. Hung us out to dry, drug our names, rumors all over the place, all these different things going around. The Gonzalez twins were household names, baby, still are to this day. But we went into our burrow when we realized, again, just how disturbing everything was and that we were lost in the sauce, that we were losing ourselves and all the madness of what it was because of nobody that we were able to trust. Just like you hear, this is the testimony, kids. I know sometimes we want to try to come in here and change the absolute law through quantum physics and all these things that we learn out here. But let me tell you what the truth is as far as the law is concerned right now, currently. When it comes to higher levels of success, when you start to go up, go up, go up, go up, you are going to see who people really are. Money and you're going to see who you really are. Money does not change you. Money does not change people. I know y'all have heard this colloquial before. It shows you who they really are. It exposes who you really are. It brings it out of you, like purges it out of you. So as you have more success, you see who people really are. A lot of people start getting greedy, getting paranoid, getting shysty, not knowing how to act, and start playing a game. It becomes mind games. It becomes a bunch of mind games and emotional. I'm gonna say this with emotionally unstable or just emotionally unaware people. And that's the game of life as adults as it is right now. Each generation is like very different, but we all still share similarities in our nature. It just expresses itself differently on us. And so again, Dakota and I, we were like, dang, y'all actually have had us messed up. And for me, I was kind of standing on an island alone for a while. I'm gonna lob it back over here to Dakota so she can tell you why I was standing on an island alone for a little bit. But I was standing on an island alone for a little bit because I did not want to, I was unwilling to sign up for like Bend It to the Man.
Yeah.
And I would do some like things that would not go down today. Oh my goodness. Like, I mean, it didn't go down then either, but I'm just surprised that I didn't get like blasted about it or anything like that because they was just trying to make sure that I guess they kept the
Everything
cap
wrapped.
wrapped, right? But man, I was pulling some stunts, like for real. Like, yeah, go ask UNLV administration about me. Yeah, I was pulling some stunts. Ask my teammate.
Hey, ask KU while you at it.
Go ask the KU Jayhawks. Go ask, and then we'll talk about the stunts they were pulling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember that.
That's why
our lawyers back.
Like
around
Dylan's
that.
saying, the sabotage was happening every step of the way.
Every step
And
of-
like literally even in high school, like our coaches were like, oh, you can't wear long sleeve shirts under your jerseys because you're trying to stand out too much. And it's like, what? Like, why does that matter? Why are you making it a thing to separate us from our
And
team now?
then-
Our team,
right.
But
And hold on. Why do you not want to support us in like shining? Because their reason for why they didn't want us to do that was because they said, we don't want you to stand out more than you already do. And we were like,
that'll make
like I
That
get
sounds like
it,
some
but I
haters.
don't. And it was kind of like we talked to our teammates about it. We were like, hey y'all, as the captains, we just want to know, is this affecting your gameplay? Do you feel like we're belittling you somehow? Do you guys feel like, you
can join
you guys
in if you
want
want
to
to wear
some
some-
shirts? Y'all
yeah.
want some shirts? Like we wanted to know. But and then they would be all cool with it. I'm sure a couple of little birds was over there chirping. Actually, we know it. I'm sorry. I'm trying to
we
be
know
nice.
you guys weren't
Y'all,
being
some
real.
people
You were
were
over there
chirping.
chirping to the
I can
coach
name
that
drop
you had a
real
problem
right now. Mackenzie Vansickle. Shout out to
Shout
you.
out to you, real
Um,
my favorite point guard to this day.
Oh, and also our other Kenzie, our redhead Kenzie and Cass. Hey, shout
Kenzie
out to
Adams.
them. Shout out to them. Hey. Sequoia, we had so many different teammates that were actually really like amazing and down during our early years of life. But this set us up to actually like, let me say this: it sabotaged us for like actually being in the top like 10 and like the top like being contenders for being number one.
Actually
in
getting
the
to
nation,
play
like
in the
go
McDonald's All
to
American
the
game.
USA, right? Like our coaches refused to send in and submit our McDonald's All American papers. Well, I don't know if they refused, but they acted like, allegedly.
They were aloof to it.
Right.
But
So
they
it was like,
refused. That's what was really going on.
allegedly. So it was like, at the end of the day, like those types of things have constantly been happening to us. And still we choose to like rise above it all. chose to fight, fight the fight still. Even to this day, we choose to get up and fight the good fight every day, but not for anybody else. Like, I don't have to act industry. I don't have to act corporate. I don't have to sit here and be like super stiff on an interview. I can just be myself because I created a world and a community that's giving me permission to do that and appreciates me for it. Appreciates me for it. It knows my heart and knows my soul, knows our character and our virtues and our values, and are willing to truly meet us there with that. And then again, also like recognize like how dirty we got. Like people just want to act like this wasn't a thing. And so that's also why I don't sit here. I'm like, no, don't pity me, don't sympathize me. It's cool. Y'all can act like it's not a thing. I'm gonna recognize who recognize, and that's that. And then when it comes to again, just me being one to recognize, like when I'm able to like know my history, know who did what before me, know who was also slighted like this, feeling their pain, carrying it with them, carrying them in my heart, allowing them to inspire me with where they're at in their life and what they're refusing to give up on for themselves. And if there is one thing that you're going to hear from, again, the real ones and definitely the ones from heaven, is do not give up on yourself and your dreams. Do not give up on yourself and your dreams, and do not let the world try to convince you you have to be something just for your survival. Because if you are surviving, then you are absolutely not living. You're too busy surviving. So I feel like that's what the industries kind of do. That's what the culture has kind of done to us because we are so concentrated right now in this kind of like next phase of COVID, if you ask me. It's just people aren't just in quarantine in their physical spaces. It's like really up here. Like, where are you stuck at up here mentally? So everybody's in this very concentrated space, all becoming very like corporate, very transactional. There's no real like love shown. So that's why we were like, you know what? Like, it ain't even really personal. Like, this is just like where the culture is at for real. So again, let us just keep doing us and do what we know how to do. We know how to break barriers. We also know how to unify, and we know how to do that within multicultural spaces that have to coexist peacefully together, and like what that looks like. We know what that looks like. We didn't know that we were getting bred to be, diplomats and ambassadors, and to even be around diplomatic type of people, and where our spirit path and our soul path was going to call us to. We had no idea where it was truly taking us, and then why we had to be on that journey in order to understand what it like was going to lead to next. Like on the other side of what's happening if you are keeping up with the biblical times. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
Girl, y'all, that was a whole bar. Like, and I felt like I just think like a lot of people tend to like it's like so much misunderstanding, especially like I said, like how y'all set the bar, set the standard with college basketball, and also with the y'all brought so much like y'all brought like say the eyes on watching women's basketball through the blueprint of everything. So, and this leads to my question is, first of all, I felt when to know that, to know that you both are on a neurodivergent. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I feel seen and represented. I was like, oh my gosh, like I was like, I don't feel alone. But my question is, when it comes to being, women in sport, but also you are activists and music artists, just multifaceted people. How important is representation?
All right. It's really hard to put a measure on the importance of it. We just know that the significance is imperative and that it's needed. And I think that one thing when it comes down to like having conversations around representation, see, here we go, we're right here with it, right? All of our neurodivergence picked up on what that word meant. But yeah, so when you're in this space though of ultimately trying to find representation and like where can I make space for myself, and where am I not seeing it? I think people have to stop being as hypersensitive to it emotionally and start asking themselves, how am I going to be a part of the solution? As opposed to just continuing to like complain about not seeing it or complain about, people just dismissing it altogether. Unfortunately, just the way that we're programmed is that we're a bit narcissistic, especially America and Americans, and then, Euro adjacent cultures, and then just humankind people. But I can speak as an American in the culture, like we're a pretty narcissistic and egotistical community. And I personally, as somebody who, observes things from the all, I have a great appreciation for it all. But what I also like is a nice balance of things. And so, in recognizing, I guess sometimes in our own narrow mindedness of what it means to have representation, we have to stop taking things so personally. Like, again, that's a narcissistic, ego level quality that doesn't allow us to have a real conversation around how we're going to find a solution around it, because then it just comes like an argument as to why it's so important, or so why these people need to do this. And then I would go, why aren't you doing it? So it's like, I feel like we just have to understand, yes, here's what the times and the lack of representation tells us. Here's what this data analysis will tell us is that these communities of people have not been valued enough, or at the very least viewed as an ideal example of human existence, to be put in mainstream media in major campaigns in a way where they can actually truly be supported, not essentially just like appropriated and used for the image of it all. And so it's like, and for these campaigns that don't actually then really like follow through with supporting and continuing to like develop the community. Because the truth of the matter is that when it comes to underrepresented communities, is that, yeah, like we need development, because we haven't essentially been compatible with literally like our human experience. So when it comes to that, we need spaces that will actually be willing to develop us. The problem becomes is that everybody's like kind of like petty. And honestly, like the generations ahead of us, y'all, don't let the corporate stuff fool you. They are petty. Petty, petty, petty. And they play the slickest chess, like the slickest chess, where they're gonna keep it freaking gangsta. They're gonna keep it poker to your face. But however they're really feeling, anybody in high society or who watches high society, like hierarchy stuff, knows what I'm talking about. They're gonna go back and they're plotting on your demise, like of how it's going down. If whatever about you was not like what they own or what they want. So it's like, recognize, people, that when you're out here and you're trying to like again make space for yourself to be represented, let's not engage in emotional and like sensitive stuff, because the again generation ahead of us, they're petty. And so when you do things like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna fight the man, and I'm gonna attack you and f you and curse you and this and that, they're like, they don't know respect. Okay, watch how I change this whole landscape of things. Watch all your rights disappear. Oh, y'all gonna keep defending me? Oh, you're gonna keep calling me names? Oh, you're gonna keep calling me out my name? Oh, you're gonna keep doing this? Like, people just be fueling them to like have us out here continuing to suffer and not be represented properly or seen or heard or like anything, like not get funding, whatever it is. Like we kind of like a little bit dish it to ourselves and just come on, people, just let's take accountability a little bit. If that's, where we're at today, let's take a little bit of accountability, because we can only control what we can control. And I'm just here to give you the data of how things go when this is the energy that we're going to greet society and places that we want to be represented. If you're gonna come with an angle and with an energy of like curse you, and trust me, like I said, I'm the, one of the rebels of the curse you clan. That's not a real thing. But but like, so this is coming from somebody who is like, you gotta really pick your battles. Cause I'm here for it. I'm here for it. We can feel that way too. But you gotta pick your battles, and also like again, really know what you're fighting for. And then if you're going to be like, oh, I'm really fighting for the cause, it better be for the cause and not just for your own ego, and to exercise some much needed, I don't know, emotional outbursts or something, like some displaced anger. So when it comes to being neurodivergent representation, as you can see, we can be very long-winded. We will take you on a roller coaster of things. We have different types of neurodivergence that each of us like are programmed in our brains with. And so we kind of speak a lot of languages. That's also why we're so creative. And that's also why we're so talented. And that's why we go, okay, you know what? I'm not going to force y'all to have to represent who I am. Like I said, and being the solution, I'm just going to be that thing. I'm gonna be that thing. I'm gonna represent. And when I find my communities of people, I'm not gonna ignore them or just use them or try to like use them myself. I'm genuinely trying to find community too. I'm really trying to find my people too. We are not born or meant to be in this earth to be lonely and to be alone and to no, people need people. And I said this before, COVID-19, and we still been in quarantine. Everybody else been outside looking like they're all alive, but really they're just dead inside. I had no ideas. They're just going through the motions, chasing their tail, And it's like for us, we're like, ooh, like I respect it. I even admire some of it. It looks real good on a lot of y'all. But when it comes to like what I know it is for myself, like I can't sign up for it in the same way. So I'm gonna have to go over here and be independent and struggle because I did the corporate stuff. We tried it. Like we went there and we were not compatible with at all. We were not compatible. Yeah, we got to taste the reality. Our parents told us so, but I still had to go because I needed to learn for myself because they hadn't gone before. So I couldn't know if they would tell me the truth. And also because ultimately I knew that this is where God had called me to be and that there was things he needed me to be witness to. There was things he needed me to go through. There was wisdom that I had to acquire for these times here today because we have been saying this on many occasions, and we're back outside all these years later now to come re-implement the message, which is that there is an identity crisis. There's an identity crisis currently in this era, and it goes so much deeper than the obvious. It goes so much deeper than the obvious. And that's the truth. And that's why us, growing up with identity crises and having to battle and again go through the things we've gone through, even not being neurotypical, is something that we look at as the biggest blessing. And so anybody who's in the club, it's like we do recognize that, yeah, no, a lot of y'all, we need help. We need help. And a lot of us cannot access the help. And a lot of us don't even know like just daily tools or things that we can do to help us to be able to live like a normal, decent life without battling in our own mind. There's nothing like being trapped in your own head, feeling alone, not processing the world or connecting with it the same way other people do. Having a part of your joy kind of killed in life because people don't value the little beautiful things of life that you might. Like we're the types that are like we're like super connected to everything. I mean, we name everything if it's got like soul to it. And we're like, ooh, that's got a fabric of like soul to it. And like our energy and our spiritual understanding and intelligence and our holy higher spirits tell us like, ooh, that's a special item right there. Some items gain soul with us because it's been through so much. So you'll see us do things because we try to be environmentally conscious as much as possible. And we'll rewear a lot of the things. We repurpose things. We do patchwork. We do all different type of stuff in our lifestyle of how we like to get down because ultimately like I said we're trying to be the examples of what we want to see and things that matter to us and even again the things you see that we do wear that we've posted once upon a time if you Google us or AI tools us you'll see us kind of consistently like with a lot of the same things and it's because they're special to us like they hold real memories with them and real powerful like energies attached and again like people don't really rock like that like people are kind of really superficial and don't care and then don't want to understand you or want to take offense to why you don't want to share a t-shirt. It's not here with it.
I just find it's just to me like, and usually in a, I've seen this, but it's like, man, I question this too. Like, I know for me growing up, being on the autism spectrum for almost 29 years, is like we're taught to assimilate a regular person's life, how to live like a regular person or a normal life. But it's like we're taught this, but how come none of the regular people ain't been taught to how to communicate with, say, someone that's on the autism spectrum, the neurodivergent? It's like it's to me, it's like mind blowing how we're taught to assimilate how to live like a normal neurotypical person, but nobody teaches like say a regular normal person how to communicate with us, how to understand, especially if they really want to truly understand how a neurodivergent say think or how to like understand. So it's like make it make sense because like we got to do all the work, but it's like you
Yeah,
really truly
yeah.
want to. It's like if you really want to truly understand us, like ask us questions because it's so. But and this
And
leads
that's right.
I'm just saying.
I'm posting the link, y'all. So Dakota, take the next question.
You got it.
So my question is, y'all have, first of all, you know, y'all made it super amazing and cool to be beautiful like inside and out and play the sport, like just be like Beauty and the Beast. Y'all made it super, awesome and beautiful to show the femininity side. What does that mean to y'all to, you know, be one of the pioneers in being like, you could be beautiful and still play, and also just in so many ways just bring that attention to women's basketball that it's okay to be beautiful and still hoop.
Right. That balance of like your beauty and beast, right? It's like how to cater to both of those things, especially when you can feel them so presently within you. And again, it's Ash, that's such a great question because it's so important to us. It's so important to us pioneering this space because as Dylan mentioned, it wasn't something that like when we were coming up, it wasn't something we recognized we were doing because we were just doing us. It wasn't until we started seeing the backlash and the and that we also started seeing everybody else doing it but not getting backlashed. Yeah, like we were the ones that were the only ones because we were the only ones with the platform. So it's like everybody else started doing exactly what we were doing, but nobody was punishing them. Nobody was like taking their eligibility. Nobody was like doing. But I will say there were those out there, not to just harp on all the people giving us the backlash. There were those out there that recognized, and that's what there's way more that there's way more that and those especially today. And those people kept us going when we were, as you know, Ash, you were mentioning our Twitter handle the other day. We got the Twitter handle Doll Baby Duo because when we were playing in AAU, we were playing for a team called Utah Flight. And we were at a tournament somewhere, I don't know, maybe Arizona. And right when and Dylan and I would come, we would be cute. We would have our lip gloss popping in my lip gloss. We had our hair, I would wear bows. Like, you don't see girls rocking the bows in their hair to hoop. I was rocking both have our Skylar Diggins headband. Okay. And we were cute. And this woman from the crowd was like, oh my gosh, like you two are a bunch like two doll babies. You're doll babies. Like you are so beautiful and so oh my gosh, I remember that. Also beasts. And so she was like, but y'all really hoop. Like no, that's why it became a thing. Like when we would go to these tournaments, we started getting known as the doll babies. Mm-hmm. But they were like they're doll babies, but they're also like beast babes. They're like beast babes. So yeah, so it was like that became like the token. It was like if you knew the doll babies, you knew we were like, we was gonna come get crunk on that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So because we just play with such anybody that's watched us play for real and not just like seen clip-ins or like heard the word of whatever somebody was talking. We're intense players. Like we're very passionate, very intense players. So when you play, and we had to be that way because literally every player from our parents and every player would give us their best game, but it didn't stop us from upholding our femininity and whether we were on. I mean, when we got on the court, it got a little ugly. But when we would step off the court, we were keeping it cute. You know what I mean? We were what? You can literally we were getting our nails done. We got the receipts, everybody. When I tell you to this day, you wouldn't see us. Like the bus would have to low key wait on us because we would be sitting there like, you think I'm really just gonna go just completely musky and go meet all these fans and people that are out there wanting to take pictures. Literally, I would be so surprised because honestly, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I would be having my little mentee B's like all the time because I was so humiliated. I was constantly a mental breakdown. Mental breakdown for the generation cross generational conversation. Yes. But I was having a mental breakdown all the time. I was going through it. You can ask my writer here, who was my emotional support animal, okay, and sister, because I was constantly being put through humiliation rituals all the time. I was constantly being humiliated so that I would break and like bend and like, do what I wanted to do. And then honestly, I guess it got so far into it that it was just like I really didn't even deserve to be on the court. For real. Like I was not putting in the work. I did not want to be there. So even the fact that I was like doing what I was doing and on the court and like playing it all when there was drama in that aspect all the time when it came to the Gonzalez twins, everybody always had so much issue playing on our team or against us. That's another story. But shout out to all y'all who survived. And again, when it came to it though, like we was getting just a lot of heat and no understanding. We were always just the targets of everybody else's shit stuff.
Everybody's displaced anger.
Yeah, everybody's displaced anger
And
so,
insecurity.
so that kind of became even like the energy that we just constantly absorbed, you know, even to this day, like we have to address it because it was one of the things that we were always having to address all the time. And now, again, on this other side of it all, like we have to talk about even the mental impact that it had on us during that time because we see it happening today to these kids.
Yeah.
And that's why I say there's an identity crisis out here. And when I was coming in before games, the one thing that I had was like, I know myself. Like I know who I want to step out and be. I don't care if they're gonna rush me. I don't care if they're gonna do these things. I don't care if they're gonna humiliate me. Even I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna sign autographs with these fans. I'm gonna take these pictures and I'm gonna be so appreciative for their love and just focus on that and keep figuring myself out how to
Yeah.
survive this day by day.
I think the beautiful part of it too is like a lot of these fans that were showing up,
And I'm
that
good.
we appreciate so much is like they didn't know what was going on the court. They didn't understand
Yeah,
the
they didn't
politics.
care. I didn't know that,
basketball.
though.
They were just there to see us and to show love, and that's why it's. I feel like the feminine aspect of what we brought to the game is so imperative. But what I really feel like we brought to the game was that be yourself all the time, because that's what we were really pioneering. Was like be
I
yourself.
wasn't always
And
the most feminine.
We opened the door for femininity to become a trend, and it's trending right now. We gonna see who's really about it in this next decade. But at the end of the day, it's like we pioneered a space for people to be themselves and to go out there and represent who you truly are, what makes you feel good when you step on the court. I agree with MJ's sentiments. I believe it was MJ that said this. Y'all can clock me if I'm incorrect, but fact check me. That says like when you feel good, you play good, and when you
Look good,
when
feel
you
so
look
play
good,
good.
we are visual creatures. Okay. And the feel good part comes from knowing that you feeling yourself.
No, it's emotionalizing people. You have to
Yeah.
emotionalize. When we see something, we're able to process a visual that we enjoy and creates the mental stimulation that doesn't set off cortisol,
Yes.
doesn't set off depressive chemical
Yes.
response. It has us in our endorphins, our highs, our oxytocin. It has us in feeling ourselves in a way that we go out and we play different and you're able to focus. And that was the other thing. I was never able to focus on the court. My head was always like hearing the chatter. Like in my, again, neurodivergence, one of my gifts is that I live in that space of mediumship. So I can like hear people's thoughts and stuff. And I even get like a little tentative about putting that out there because then people be trying to test my resolve all the time. And it's like, first of all, I don't want to know what a lot of y'all are thinking. And it's not me. I don't have the power. God chose me to be the host and I'm just the vessel. He chose me and he decided I was worthy enough to be hosted with this gift. But I would be in my head all the time. So again, in that space, right? We didn't have spaces. There's still not really spaces. So I'm not complaining. I'm just addressing it with the facts, which are that there wasn't spaces for me to get that kind of counsel and help. And then again, the people who were in positions who were supposed to help, with all due respect, were like not the most amazing. And sometimes it wasn't because they weren't great people or didn't have good intentions, but that position was so demanding or hard or difficult. And so it became hard for people to have to like see individuals and like care and reach out and take initiative. It was kind of like the resources there and either you like go take advantage and figure it out and see if there's a space that can help you here, or you don't. And for me, I trusted my emotional intelligence, which was that I tried as much as I could, but ultimately my own depression kind of kept me from utilizing certain resources because again I didn't trust the system that I was in because it was just constantly attacking us. And now, again, like to this day, people don't really understand like that, like the importance. That's why I think some of the players of this generation now we're talking about the importance of how they have mindset coaches to really help them train the mind. And this is good for any brain. For any brain, it's just so important for you to take the journey of having your mindset coached, which is what we do. We started doing mindset coaching for the young ladies and the things that we do out here in the earth that we don't just like put online anymore because it's a safety issue. It's a safety concern. Like a lot of people think we just disappeared and just ain't done nothing and just been sitting over here like getting taken care of or something. And it's like, yeah, by God and my grind, like I've literally been over here trying to build an empire up and again do what I've been called to do. So what we're doing over here, we're creating these spaces and systems we didn't have. I'm not gonna be one of those people that I don't really respect who just talk about it and complain and don't be a part of like the solution for how we're gonna find spaces for how do we get players to be able to focus? How do we get them to be able to overcome whatever they're up against personally, whatever they're up against professionally? And sometimes it's like a very spiritual thing as well. Like we don't like to talk about that too. It's like, ooh, we can't talk about the spirit because somehow the spiritual conversations have gotten interfused with like politics and religion. And it's like it's actually its own space. It's its own space that we have to be able to be literate in. We have to be literate in the spirit. And the spirit, I think, is one of the most intimidating places because it is very hard to understand. And I think that most neurodivergent people are the ones who are the most compatible with navigating different dimensional planes of the spirit. Whereas neurotypical people, that's something that's very foreign and very confusing and almost like too majestical and like fictional for them to actually conceptualize as the spiritual plane being a real plane. So again, these are things that we were like, all right, let's represent. And for us, yes, being women who ultimately love being love being all that we are. And I'm going to say this, like I love being able to represent being a if I'm going to say it, I guess I got to say it with my chest. I was really thinking about if I wanted to say this in this way because again, the times are so weird and people are so sensitive, but I'm kind of going to be the person I've been telling you I am. And that is to say, I'm very proud. I'm very proud to be the representation of a woman who is a high value woman who also is heterosexual and who also likes to, or not likes to, but is a feminine expression of herself because this is who she identifies. That's who I am. Now, look, like Dakota said earlier, we want everybody to be exactly who they are. But the reason why we have to say this today is because it is so confusing, especially for the generations who are coming up. And for people who don't care, right, who don't value these problems and don't care what people are going through on this level, they're not going to consider that we have to communicate certain things because they just want to keep doing it how they've been doing it. So they don't want to have to grow and expand in the language. They don't want to have to be willing to talk and understand what's going on in people's corners of the world. But if we actually, like you were saying, Ash, tried to understand, we would actually probably get along and be able to truly coexist so much better together. And in fact, in a beautiful way where we all bloom together. That harmony. That harmony. Yeah.
That harmony.
That harmony. We talk about the theme of the year. That's our word of the year. It's harmony. I'm gonna hit that little.
I don't sing, but I don't sing, but
Hey, but
I
you
will
hitting those though, girl. So
Girl, you sing. It's okay. Everybody can sing. Not everybody's good, but everybody can sing.
I don't sing professionally, but if there's some songs
But you might hit a little.
like I'll hit a little no just because
You got the shower karaoke. Hey, I see you, girl. She killing it.
if there's a song down here, I'm like, ooh, yeah, yeah, ooh, yeah. So, but
Get it. Get it.
so, and this brings up to my question is, you know, how do you balance, you know, first of all, I just want to say they are hooper hoopers. Dylan and Dakota, they are hooper hoopers. Yes, they are beautiful. Like,
Right.
let's get that out of the way. They are beautiful, but they be hooping. Like, and I literally said this in the video. I said both Dylan and Dakota have hooped with your favorite players and literally brought it, to life. And like, they don't play around. Like, they be about it. So like, I just want to, put that out there because I know some people like you mentioned, like some people think, oh, they look good, but can they actually? I'm like, yeah, they actually hoop. Like they were hooping with your favorite players while you are like literally watching, like hooping your favorite players at like say at a Drew League or like some of the big summer leagues and it's like they be hooping him. They don't just talk about
And
it.
shout out to shout out to those who recognize and those who go with us. Like for real, like y'all make us better too in every way. Even the ones that like again, it's like being like you have to understand how to be unleashed and how to be your most beastly self. And then you also have to understand how to be your polished self. And you have to understand how to ultimately be the version of yourself that can conduct yourself with composure and
where to find that like balance, right? And so like for us, it's like when you go on the court, when you're playing, like stuff can get very personal, like personal stuff, just like any like kind of warfare. Like personal stuff gets brought into those four lines. Like, and even if you watch like, some of the tournament, whatever, I'm sure you're gonna see girls give each other like real personal checks, like, yeah, like I run you kind of energy. Like that's the energy that's like in the B side of it. But at the end of the day, you have to come off that and still be able to truly be like cordial with each other. I'm not saying you got to be best friends, but you'll see it in the representation of the different spaces in the industry where the players can come off and we shake hands and we be cool and we'll be good. But that doesn't mean that just because we're shaking hands doesn't mean that we ain't like, I'll kill you when you shake hands with somebody. Because sometimes it really is that personal. Like for real, it's that personal to like what people will bring into the warfare of the four lines and like what that moment gives them access to like do to you, or try you with. And like everybody always trying to try us. Because again, it's like nobody wants to get beat by
The doll
like,
babies.
by the doll babies. They're like, what does that say about me? Like they seriously have like I think
Especially when all they've done is talk shit on us and say how we can't hoop and how we're just these, horrible people.
right
So,
to this day.
so it's like they gotta put their extra efforts in to make sure
Right. So people will go like extra hard on
trying to
us,
hurt
like,
us, trying to hurt us,
oh yeah. So we've got brawly before, like we'll like because that's
and
what
we'll get brawly again.
But look, this happens everywhere. And like I said, you'll see this in the game. Like to this day, I watch the young girls do it that we coach up, and at least the ones that really have that aggressor or that anger, like especially out in like New York and different places where they're very physical and they're willing to be physical. And this is actually where they exercise that moment to like get out that anger that might be coming from other places and stuff. Like I've shoulder checked girls hard as heck. They ain't do nothing to me. The problem was they got set up. Fate set them up to have to take this shoulder check, and I got shoulder check back. But it's like I said, like we went and
You got
we
stitches for
actually really had to, like, yeah, I got two like
Clavicles
clavicles.
is for real.
My clavicle and my AC joints got both of them got torn on like illegal screens, because girls would intentionally be like boom and like when we watch stuff today, like the ladies on the court are selective. It's a selective physical game, and I kind of believe that that's more so the impact of just the powers that be, kind of impacting the game to shape it to be this way. But in my opinion, it actually does take away from the potential of the players. Because when you're not able to go to a certain place to channel a certain beast, you actually take away some of that ceiling, in my opinion. And so when it comes to like some of the sports that we've been really into now, like we still hoop. Matter of fact, we're gonna be hooping soon in South Florida. So ladies of all ages, stay tuned on our channels. We're gonna be sending out some invites on engagement.
Let me get my little tamper in for that. Yes.
Come on. We're gonna be balling. We're gonna be like, who wants to come ball with us? But yeah, but we also getting into our daddy's space, which is football. And football has been again just kind of like in the blood. I think that's also what made us so physical. And our father, he was a corner. He played defense, so it's all about physical. It's like all you really do is physical on defense. Like if you ain't doing physical, you ain't doing your job right. You know what I mean? So when it comes to just the kind of like tenacity and again physicality, like defense was always the thing that we were taught first. Like we were never really taught like offense like that. We kind of just had to figure it out. And our mother, because she was a shooter, she was able to help us learn like what it really looked like to properly shoot. So that's why our form, it looks so clean, because ultimately we got to be taught by a shooter, by like somebody who really like could score, because like was a scorer and was in the all-time leading scorers, even like with no 3-point line, no 3-point line to this day. So when it comes to like our mechanics, like we had that going on, but we were defensive players first, because what we were always taught was that defense is the best offense. So today there's selective players that I see who actually like care about defense and who care about the fundamentals. So it's taken me away from actually wanting to like watch and participate. And then on a professional level, I feel like I got a lot of tension just energetically from me to some of the spaces with the professional women. And it just mostly has to do with certain like treatment and things like that. And again, this is the women's world, y'all. Like this is how what we be on, like in the feminine politics, if you're in this world. So
when it comes to just certain energies and stuff, like there's things you won't see me supporting, you won't see me getting behind the same because I just got played and disrespected. Like I'll be doing all types of stuff to put on like what was happening in women's sports, even though I didn't want to sign up for it. And I think people thought, oh, she's just doing this to stay relevant and to act like she's in the mix, even though she's not. And it's like, babe, I never had to be in your mix. I didn't have to put none of y'all stuff on. Like no, like y'all think that like this is like everybody's world. Like you guys think you guys are just so important that everybody must know what's going on in the WNBA and in the professional spaces of women's basketball. No, they don't know what's going on. So I don't have to like I could have been talking about Formula One or like all these other things. I did not have to keep doing that. And guess what? Guess what? We created the influencer lane. The influencer lane became a thing, boo. So all I have to do is take a picture with the basketball on our ballot, and that's why people be mad too. That's also why they want to discredit our game. But the problem for me became tension because it's like I'm showing up. I remember I had this moment, and I don't charge it to people's heart, but I can't. And again, in the way that I'm set up, there's shit that just like if it strikes a nerve with me and it bothers me, I just gotta be like, okay, noted, like noted. I just gotta remember and then keep kind of processing and observing. I don't need any answers right away, but like, why do I feel this way about this interaction? Why do I feel this way about what happened here? And I'll just process it. And I'll take my time. Again, I don't come to any conclusions right away, but I've had interactions with very few women, like who in the current era of the WNBA that I was like, wow, they're dope and they're real and they're like amazing as their game, like through the fabric of who they are. There's most women, their game to me is more amazing than like the actual fabric of who they are. And that's just most people though. So hey, don't take it too personal. But the women that I do want to shout out who I think were really, really dope that I have gotten to me. Number one is Jackie Young. Jackie Young is class. Jackie Young is a beast and also a beauty. And Jackie Young is intelligent. And Jackie Young plays both ends of the, and she's like she has such a silent but like powerful and deadly aura about her. And she doesn't have this, super obnoxious presence or anything. And I think that's what makes her like stone cold. Like she's like but she's also super class, like as a person. And like the interactions I have had with her and the moments that we have like cross paths and engage, she's always been like really, really dope. So Jackie, I can't wait to play with you, girl. Because again. Oh yeah, that's right. I also had experience with Jackie. Dakota and I, we got picked up by the Aces. A lot of people don't know this, but we got picked up by the Aces, but we turned it down because we just
Bad deal.
The offer was disrespectful.
It was a bad deal.
For us. It was a bad deal for us. So and hey, look at what they're dealing with now, right? This is also why I was like, dang, no wonder y'all need to fight for pay. So I was pushing that whole memo, but we got picked up. So we went on this whole run, right? We did this whole thing where we were like, oh, we're going for the WNBA, but we only wanted to play for either the Sparks or the Aces, but really the Aces. And I was like, because we were building our empire in Vegas. So I still needed to be in Vegas. Yes, we are more than athletes. So we had to cater to the other worlds that we had created outside of our own professional career. Otherwise, we would have to sacrifice that professional career to keep building our own space and leagues and agencies and things of that nature. We were going to sacrifice that and just continue to, again, create our own space, stay competitive, create our own what this looks like next, just like what we've been doing, just like what all the great creators and pioneers do. But again, when we went and got picked up, we actually got picked up when Jackie had just got drafted. And so I don't know if you remember, Jackie, but I ain't make that easy for you. That's okay. I ain't make that easy for you. And I was getting my shots off, but I had just come from like, I think we were doing like a musical tour and we literally hadn't even played ball. Because we didn't get a call. We had to play for months because we didn't get a call when we were doing our run. So we were just like, cool, we're going to go maybe like do this music thing for a minute. And we had
been in the gym like that. Like
we wasn't working out. We just got the call and showed up like it was on some like what's it called, runs, like some rec runs, like we just pulled up like that, and let me tell you, like we got an offer, like they offered us to come play on the team and they offered us to do like we'll start with you here and we'll just kind of let you, like we're gonna feel you out basically contract, which was what we got offered. And it was like, we're gonna have you guys like come in because we got all these players overseas and then you guys can kind of like basically we looked at it like, so basically y'all are gonna use us to get fans in the seat and not give us what we actually deserve. And then you're going to have rights to us because we signed, no, we're good.
So we did.
So we didn't do it. But that's also why, again, like we understand how hard it is and how honestly, like, yeah, just disrespectful. How disrespectful the landscape is currently, and why it means so much that these women are out here fighting for it, regardless of whatever the personal, little TT and stuff is. Yeah, that's all fun and games. But when it comes down to the reality, and we put all that stuff to the side, like this has been a thankless space for women. Has been thankless. So again, that's why we were like, all right, look, we might not be compatible right now, but we still believe in us. We believe in this relationship. So we'll come back around. In the meantime, what we're gonna do is just keep building out our corner of the world with the people who do want to be a part of what we got going on and who do want to welcome us into their spaces. Because like I don't want to be nowhere I'm not welcome. And again, like I'm not a fan of nobody, so I'm not gonna sit here like I'm a supporter, I'm a believer, I'm a rider, but I'm not a fan of nobody. So it's like I'm not gonna go pull up, and a lot of these WNBA players would be treating me like I'm their fan, and I was like, so okay. And I just kind of was like, okay, cool. I even felt that way about Angel Reese. Like, I actually have so much love and respect for Angel Reese, but I kind of started feeling like, oh dang, like we were cool. I was reaching out to her. I was just sending her love like I do to all of my young ladies. And y'all can't, I got receipts. So y'all can't sit here and say I haven't genuinely showed up and showed love when I saw the fight was hard. I didn't have nobody do that for me.
None.
I didn't have
It was
nobody.
quite the opposite.
I had to constantly go up to people, and there's one person who actually reached back out to me, and her name is, you remember, Coda? Angel from KU? Goodrich? Oh yeah. It was no. Remember when that was the only person
that would kept it real.
kept it real, but
They kept it real.
I mean, other than like my teammates in the locker room, like that was around me, but people who were ahead of me, who've been on the other side of it, who graduated and stuff, I never heard from none of them. And again, I understood like, oh, because you guys had to be so worried about just surviving out here. I get it, but still, it never happened. Like I was in the survival of it all too, and I still made sure that I reached out to my girls. I still made sure that I hit up the new recruits to see like, hey, who wants a resource, who wants a mentor. But the problem became like they treated me like a fan. And I was like, look, babe, like, or that's how I took it. Like to me, fan treatment is when like you expect me to just keep showing up, clapping for you, clapping for you, clapping for you, and there's like no reciprocation. And so again, for me, it was like, okay, cool. Like there's still gonna be love, even for all my young girlies. I'm honestly, I'm talking to a lot of you guys too. A lot of my like college players and ladies who have graduated and stuff like that, who I like genuinely tried my best to have like a connection with, reach out to, be a resource, make plays with. But nobody ever cared to like reach back out. Nobody ever inquired when I'm like, hey, I got an opportunity for you. Hey, would you be interested in this? Hey, do you want to do this? Hey, do you want to do that? I'm building it out. Okay, well, I'm gonna let you know. And mind you, I'm doing this all independently. And I'll be letting them know. I'm just so you know, I'm wearing every hat. And if they didn't know that, I guess they maybe didn't pick it up in the lines or pay attention to my posts, actually. They were just watching me for their entertainment. I don't know. But when it came down to it, it was like nobody ever reached back. Nobody ever checked in. Like I was checking in. Nobody ever, hey, Dill, what about that? Are we gonna? And the ones who did, shout out to y'all. Shout out to my Paisleys of the world. Shout out to my Mayas. Shout out to my Kristanitas. Shout out to all my little ladies out here. Shout out to TT. Shout out to all of the ladies who genuinely reach out and check, even in your own ways. Like I see you. You're willing to like my post. You're willing to engage with me. You're willing to do certain things. But a lot of the other women that I had in previous times, where a lot of the issue gets, is they don't want to actually like have a real relationship with me. They just want to kind of like use me or have some corporate dynamic. And I go, okay, I understand why you're programmed this way, but you don't expect me to keep like hitting you up or to follow you. I'm gonna just keep that same energy. We all grown at the end of the day. So it's like recognize why things didn't work out for us and that it wasn't just because of me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like why things didn't play out. Again, even with Angel, I feel like we were following each other at one point and we were cool, I thought. And then all of a sudden, you just start getting the sweep. And then I'm noticing like, oh, dang, okay, so I'm out the mix now. I'm not cool. And here's why those things, like people are like, oh, that's so petty. You care about that stuff. Because yes, people, it says something. It says something. And mind you, don't forget about who we are to the culture. Like, again, like put some respect on our name, right? And like even Angel, she was like, oh, yeah, thank you so much. Like queen, this, that, whatever. So it's like, okay, well, you don't even like come at me like that either then with this energy that makes me feel understood and respected and valued, right? Like I would never like have a conversation with, and I'm having audacity right now. I have the audacity to say this, okay? This has never happened, but it's like if I had a conversation with Maya Moore, right? And I'm like, oh, Maya reaches out to me and she's like, hey, Dylan, like keep going. Like, don't let these people, dim your shine. Like you got this. You're going to be good. Stay strong. I'll be like, saying a similar response, like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, Maya. Wow, thank you. And I'm holding that down. Like, I'm never just gonna like, oh, you know what? Fuck Maya more. Like, I'm never just gonna fuck her off and like unfollow her and not want that resource and connection again. Cause you kind of just, you broke a level of access. And oh, that was my hair picked. But there was a level of access and communication that's broken. So now there's like, again, a little bit of tension in our dynamic now, because it's like, okay, well, I guess we'll just be cool from a distance. Respect. But again, I just go,
We'll be cordial.
where did, but again, I just go like, where did like we get so disconnected, like, ladies? And then again, this is why I don't feel welcome in these spaces. Like, it is what it is. Like, hey, we don't gotta be cool, we don't gotta follow each other, we don't gotta be best friends. But this is why I'm saying you guys won't see us do stuff like that in these spaces. Like, people might have this idea like, oh yeah, we're gonna see the Gonzalez's. No, you aren't gonna see us. That's why we're not talking about like highlighting a lot of these things, other than just to help y'all have some understanding, to bring y'all back into reality, our reality of what to expect. So, again, people are really used to seeing us from this space, or from the music space, or just simply from being, influencers. But in the, I guess, era and in the times right now that we're in, of the March Madness and coming to its close with the women's tournament, and us again having this, Bonafide Her podcast, which is known for talking sports and talking, all the amazing things going on for the ladies. We want to continue to show up and contribute to the context of what's relevant. But we're really not, you're not going to see us like talking about this space like that. We're going to show and have our love from a distance, but you won't really see us like doing collaborations and doing this. Why? Because we really want to do this independent. And so that's even why, like, when we get to the point where when we're starting to do certain projects that we're like ready to really roll out, like, we're even in conversations. This is pretty official information, y'all. But we're having conversations about what it would look like to crowdfund and like let people be involved and let the people also own a part of what we're doing, together, like as a community, like with our people, of like what we have going on. Because it's like, I don't want to go back to working for the man. And I don't want to go back to an environment where I'm not welcome and none of my peers actually really like me. Like, they all got issues with me on some level for some reason. And like, yay, it's valid. I'm not, but like, I can't be in an environment like that. Me personally, and I can't handle it. I got too much social anxiety for that. And it's like one or two things is going to happen. I'm either going to freeze or snap. So in that level of self-awareness, I can't be in an environment like that.
Crash out.
She would crash out. Right. So like, we're not going to be compatible with that environment. So I want the people to know, like, this is why, like, and to all the ladies who feel me, and even the ladies in the league, or ladies who, like, there's so many ladies that I do follow. Like, I'm trying to think, like Kennedy Carter. Like, there's just so many ladies that I do follow that, again, I don't have any, people all got a clean slate when it comes to me. I don't look at people's issues from the internet or any other bullshit in the circles of people and like make it my problem. Like, I want to see whatever God shows me somebody is gonna be, and then I kind of observe and go from there. But there's so many other women outside of like just this space and basketball and music that we want to connect to, that and connect with and do great things with. And even like Bria Smith, shout out to Bria Smith, Louisville. She was hitting me up talking about wanting to, get some conversations around the podcast space and stuff like that. And I got ladies again, the Shania Ray, like, just so many amazing ladies who also got like missed the mark with the NIL stuff, who had platforms of their own and stuff, that even though the timing was not what we all thought it was going to be, and this methods weren't what we thought it was going to look like, in our hearts, we know that like those people are still in our vision of like, okay, how do we just continue to connect where we do feel like we have resonance? We do feel like we have people, even my teammate, one of my teammates who was so funny, we actually were like beefing when we were teammates, but we're like the closest, but it was only because there was so much love. There was so much love in our relationship. That's why we were beefing. But then her name is Brooke, and she still plays. She's a beast. Honestly, one of the nastiest point guards I ever played with. One of the nastiest point guards. Can shoot the lights out. Like, she was shooting Caitlin Clark shots, like, before Caitlin Clark. You know what I'm saying? Has a crazy pass game and like bullets that thing. Like, it's on target. It's a bullet. Again, so many women who I want to shout out here. Like, when y'all hear me, I'm shooting my shot at all y'all. I'm just gonna start shooting more Cardi B. Like, I was gonna start shooting more shots out here for all the ladies who I do want to bring into our vortex, because we got y'all on our minds. We got y'all in our hearts. We're analyzing, we're watching, we're seeing who God, brings around us for us to ultimately connect with and build amazing things with outside of what's already been done. Because hey, like, why not? Why not do that? They all started as this at some point. Each new day is gonna come. Why not be closer to ultimately having our own new space that can contribute to what already exists? And who knows? We might mess around and do it a little better.
And that's facts, period. And this leads to my question because I always say that athletes are humans first. For you as Black women, you know, activists, and just multifaceted, sisters and women, how important is mental health to you?
hmm Mental health is like it's the first word that came to mind was everything, and then I'm like, how do I continue to like specify and elaborate on what the everything is in that way? Um, because truly, if your mind's not right, you're not capable of really getting anything done or doing or being anything. And Dylan, she is such an incredible teacher, and through her studies and her diligent works in this space, she's taught me that the mind and the mental game is so connected to the spirit. So it's so many things that are going on. Like if your mental ain't right, your spirit ain't right.
And it's the control panel, man. Like the mental space is the control panel. I always say, or the bridge to the two worlds.
Yeah.
So it's like when you have a mental state that is chaotic or that is in an altered state of some kind, like rage or depression, and just torment ultimately, then you are going to have a tormenting experience no matter what. If that is what your mental like your mental you know space in stratosphere looks like, then you're going to have a really hard time, period. Like there's just no way around that. That's the inevitable truth. And so for us, mental health became one of those things where we went, let us enter in this space of understanding just with ultimately no judgment. That's the biggest key, is no judgment. Because the second that you release judgment, and then also you release, what did we say? You have to like clear your mind, what we were talking about.
Clear the clutter.
Clear the clutter. You got to unlearn some things. But clearing the clutter, clearing out the mind is so important to be able to stabilize it. And again, finding the balance of how to navigate the two worlds. And one of the things that we're really keen on, like teaching eventually, we're really only doing like small case studies, I like to call them, because we're all just a bunch of experiments at the end of the day. But yeah, these case studies that we have, we're only doing a few, but we're ultimately doing like behavioral training and etiquette and having social and environmental conscious, reintroducing civics and things like that. Because when you have a support that of a system that helps you navigate the world in a way that not only you can conduct yourself in a high vibrational, high value way, but then that you will receive that. You will receive that from your environment. And it's not always going to start out that way, because it is work and building up that mental fortitude of ultimately staying in that space of, all right, let me conduct myself highly. Let me, the behavioral and emotional aspect of it, let me stay in my emotional control of self, even when I'm having really potentially, again, altered experiences. Because today, yeah, these kids out here, y'all, we're all wildin' or big wildin'. Okay, like let's just talk the stats and the facts. Like people have been wilding. Like if we look at each era, it's like, oh, we got the crack era, and then we got the, I don't know, the pill era, and then we got the meth era, and we got technology, then we got, tobacco, weed, like all these different things that we're being like drugged with, basically, to alter our states of mind. And mind you, again, when your mind is right, the experiences with certain things aren't as scary and hellish, when you're grown adults who can legally like drink, participate in the altering substances.
But when you're in that state where you're a healthy adult to do that, then they can actually be very enjoyable, enlightening, elevating, like expansive experiences that help you like find yourself, find your community, and even kind of shed some of like the apprehension of the past life energies that want you to just stay in your shell and like not be yourself and not experience life because you just want to stay safe in this little shell of like doing nothing and not being real or not being yourself or whatever, you know? So it's like, it can be, like I said, hell, or it can truly be heaven. And it all depends on where your head, your mind's at, your mental's at. And when your mental is in a good space, you will be in a good space. When your mental is right, you will be all right. No matter what you're going through, like when your mental is good. But again, it's like right now we really need to get back to understanding like how do I find that mental like I said, fortitude. How do I get that for myself? And so we help people achieve that. And like I said, we want to ultimately start small because we know that when it comes to scaling different things of well, let's just call it things that are incredibly impactful and life changing, either for the better or like, not. So we don't take that lightly at all. So we don't want to just be in this space where we're just contributing to the overload of information out here in the world. Like, oh, eat this, drink that, do this, do that, do this, do that. Like, we don't really want to participate in that because we understand the conditioning and the seeds that it's planting in the subconscious mind because we understand the power of the subconscious mind. We understand the power of the impact that we have, So ultimately, we want to make sure, like, okay, if I'm going to participate on this level of brainwashing again, I want to make sure that it's truly for their best nature, and that people truly will be able to like utilize these things, and I can prove it, and I can prove that it works, and I can prove it with testimony from others. That's kind of a part of the scientific method. So it's like that's been a lot of the space that we've been, and we're still observing, we're still figuring it out, we're still seeing how things are working. We just launched, this past month, like our experience in our program. We just launched, like, from the grassroots of building it up, and now we're going to keep taking it state to state, and taking it ultimately around the world. But like I said, we're scaling because the mental health conversation and just mental health period is a very fragile one. It's very fragile. So you have to know what you're dealing with, and you have to know how to navigate it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think to me, like, I believe when you provide a safe space for someone's mental health, you are showing them the ultimate respect where they're seen, heard, and just respected. Because it takes a lot for people to open up, especially the fear of being judged and neglected and left. And honestly, to me, like, it's just truly important to be able to, like you said, if you right, you're gonna be all right. If your mental is good, you're gonna be good. And the mind is
Mhm.
truly a powerful thing. And this also leads to my question is, you guys are very like, being able to, I feel like being able to leave a legacy. I pray I be able to leave a legacy. Just to like leave a legacy where, you know, I think to me the most important thing is inspiration, because you give that person hope to continue to do better and everything. So for my question for both of you is, you know, how important is being able to leave a legacy beyond your sport?
Another one of those ones I don't know if I can really put a measure of importance on, but I think for us, when it comes to like what legacy means to us, I think it really just comes down to, again, understanding who we really represent and how that's bigger than us. Like when it comes to our bloodline, when it comes to our kingdom, like, and the thing is that people who haven't felt like true, like love, like who don't know love, haven't experienced love in their kingdom, in their bloodline, in their communities, this conversation will be like foreign to them as far as what it means to you, and therefore leaving a legacy and like taking the torch and like truly doing like, what you're called to do. And I believe in evolution. I believe in natural evolution. I believe that with time we are to get better and more divine, not to decay, and atrophy. And I feel like when it comes to what we've known in our mental conditioning, that's all we've seen. So that's just what we buy into. But we're trying to break even those like generational curses and things like that. Like even within our family, that's the legacy. It's beyond just material achievement. It's making sure we never have these mental health issues again. It's making sure we never have these physical bodily issues again. It's making sure we never have the relational issues and division and, brokenness again. It's making sure that we don't have fear in position where faith should be. It's making sure that we don't have worry, in position where hope and confidence should be. It's making sure that our communities, again, everybody connected to us is all on the same page about those things, and then figure and being willing, to figure it all out together. That's the legacy. Like to us, it's about real kingdom work. We're here not just because, oh, we want to be so amazing and again be in all of these positions of, I don't know, ADD. I don't know, like to be in these positions where we're just there for attention. Like seriously, like to be positioned, oh, on this magazine, at this award show, on the top whatever list. Like those aren't the things that are legacy to us. They would be amazing. Those would just be those amazing extra little things like, whoa, God, whoa, mankind, thanks. Like I didn't expect this. Like really, I just expected to do these things, which is again, I don't want to see it's a legacy to never see another human being be enslaved again. We're still going through a genocide. We're in warfare, people. We all look so cute and kiki, but let's keep it a buck. So it's like making sure that we never have to have these kind of issues amongst our societies again. Like really. And that hopefully we can align in our values. That's the other thing is we just want to be able to have space for what we believe in. And it is a fight, y'all. Like you got to fight for your space. What is that going to look like on you? We just started figuring that out. We started getting our strategy together. We started healing with our family. We started, having conversations. We started doing the work that it takes that we're talking about when it comes to the legacy that we want to leave, that we want to, and that not just we want to leave, that we want to lead. That we are leading. We're the type of people who were called to be shepherds. We're sheep too, black sheep. But we're shepherds, and I was telling you, Ash, when we have our mentorship moments and, when I'm dropping the gems and we're giving guidance and all these different things, and I'll tell you that, I'll be like, we're shepherds who shepherd shepherds. We're here to help people who are also supposed to be leaders in their own corners and who are supposed to be, trailblazers and who are supposed to be, icebreakers and who are supposed to lead in some way in their life. And sometimes, yeah, that's not on some grand societal scale of measurement. Sometimes it's just, oh, I need to lead in my household and be the person who's willing to be the voice of reason. Maybe it's just I need to and be mature and absorb the, frustration with conduct. I need to be the leader in just my own life of making sure that I'm on top of my health. Like there's different things that you have to lead in that's not always like some big grand responsibility. And just remember, people, the higher your calls, the greater the responsibility. So like careful what you wish for real. And don't just want things because other people tell you to want them.
Exactly.
And recognize where that is a thing for you.
Yes. Oh my God.
Please.
Yes.
Be in self-awareness of like, oh, I only want this body or I only want this trendy thing or this lifestyle or this whatever because I see it on social media all the time and it looks so good and I want to be responded to by the world like that and I want to experience that. You want it because you were told to, right? And where you're going to figure out if it's really for you is when you pursue it or if you pursue it. Because again, everybody who's out here just doing this, I guess it ain't really for you. So again, get real about what is really for you then and check yourself and understanding that you just want these things because you were told to want them and you're brainwashed and you're conditioned into believing this now. And it's a deep conversation that's probably above what you're capable of understanding, but I'm trying to keep it as for dummies or black and white with all due respect as possible. Yes.
Elementary
As
is possible.
elementary, thank you. As elementary as possible, which is like, this is what it is.
like just keep it, it's like try to keep it cute and simple, you know, because some people, like I always say, some folks ain't ready for that conversation. It's a lot of conversations because it's, you know, it has to make you. I'm someone that says if I ask you questions or if I'm saying something, it's making me think. Because I know for me, I want to be thinking something like the surface questions. Like, nah, that ain't gonna make me think. I already know the answers. But if it's a question that makes me think, oh, that's a good question. Like, I'm gonna make sure to like, you know, that's like. But you know, some folks. But
Right,
I
like
would say some
because
folks.
you're so inquisitive, you have a mind of your own, and you're so inquisitive in that way. And like most people just don't have minds of their own. And that's also why we see people like click up certain types of ways and like,
Right.
do certain things that it just kind of is in our nature. I look at when I'm observing humanity and when I go away from like again some of the personal like 6 degrees or minimal degrees of separation I have to do, when I go away from all that and I just observe humanity from like a scientific analytical space, I just look at us like the animal kingdom. Seriously. And it's like, you know, who are you, what are you? That was my thought, my intrusive thought. Where are you? Who are you? What are you? Like in the animal kingdom. And it's like, are you the predator? You know what I'm saying? Are you a carnivore? You an omnivore? You a vegetarian? Like, what's up? Like, and then are we compatible in our dynamic together? Like I'm probably not gonna be click if I'm like, let's just say, for example, if I'm a bunny rabbit, I'm probably not clicking up with the carnivorous fox. You know what I'm saying? Like I just know, and I don't gotta be so angry. I don't gotta go try to take the fox out. I'm just gonna go be in my burrow and do my thing and let the fox. But if you do come over here, fox, just know this bunny rabbit is thumping that. And I do mean to decimation. To obliteration, annihilation. That's how we go. Like I said, it's a war. We gotta fight. Like we realize that, like for real, like shit gets gritty. People will put hands on you. People will, strap what's it called? Pistol whip you. People will do grimy stuff, hack your stuff, do all these different things. So you gotta realize, like, oh no, like I gotta actually be willing to like figure out what it looks like to fight back. Because I'm not gonna just lay over and die.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a whole word. That's a whole word.
Mhm.
Leads to my question is if there was a word or a phrase to describe your journey, both on and off the court, what would it be?
Mm, a word that describes our journey on and off the court. I'm gonna have to really come back to this. Okay. Oh man, just hot box. First off, or like hot,
Yeah. Yeah.
hot fire, hot
What's the
fire,
What's the hot fire word?
Okay, the first thing for me was love, because that's just like, the era that I'm like in right now. And somebody had asked me earlier during my subscriptions experience, the next couple subs, I don't know what number we're at now, but unlocks the next photo shoot. Anyway, so in my subscription experience, somebody had asked me, what's a song that like best describes you or your life. And the first thing that just came to my heart was Love by Music Soul Child. So that's kind of what's still like on my mind. And I feel like it's love, because when you really understand even those lyrics, I'll pull some out for y'all today. Oh yes, welcome to music as literacy. But it goes, love, so many things I've got to tell you, but I'm afraid I don't know how. 'Cause there's a possibility that you'll look at me differently, love. Oh, ever since the first moment I spoke your name, from then on I knew that by you being in my life, things were destined to change. 'Cause love, through all the ups and downs, the joys, the hurts, love, for better or worse, I still will choose you first.
Woo! Lord have mercy. Yes.
Ooh.
Woo!
Ooh. Music Gonzalez. Hey, You know, real quick. Wasn't expecting to do that. You know, wasn't expecting. I was expecting to sweat. That's for sure because I'm healthy. But I wasn't expecting to say. Oh, yeah.
That first of all, I was like, because I had to make sure it's like, which love is he talking about? Is the Music Soul Child or Keisha Cole? I was like, it got to be the Music Soul Child, cause oh,
You know what? Like the backstory of that, because it's from his album, I Just Wanna Sing. And it actually looks like how the way it's spelled is like one big word and it's like starts with an A and it's like literally as if you're saying it as one word, like I just wanna sing. Like, and I just thought that was so cool. At least that's how I read it. So if it's wrong, then like fact check me, y'all. But this is my perspective. And on the album it was actually originally a gospel song. Like that song and the word love was actually Lord. It was actually a song to the Lord. And then he was like, well, what's the most interchangeable, universal way of like saying this? And that's how it became love. And so I feel like for me, that song, it just speaks to like, again, when you really go and break down the lyrics, and if you were to be able to watch the movie play out, which one day you will, but the movie play out of like our life and again, for me, from my perspective of what it all looks like, it's like it was all really love at the end of the day, you know? So that's a great one, man. I love that. Through all the ups and downs and the joys there, all of it, love. Okay, I'm done.
Yes. No, that's great. I would say the word that came to mind for me was persevere.
Mm.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
resilience. So that's like where it took me to. when you said it. It
Yeah,
was like
yeah. Resilience, perseverance.
loyalty. I'm sorry, I just had a vision of myself saying that in
Oh,
that same
I'm
way.
big on the loyalty. Loyalty.
That's
loyalty.
another one because we've been loyal to it, right? Like on and off the court, we stay
Yeah.
loyal. So now, you know, like I said, the rapid fires coming.
Loyalty.
Loyalty.
Yeah.
That's one of our highest values, and like trust, like that's another one. Like trust and faith for real. Like
Faith.
had to have the faith, people.
Yeah,
Like have to have the faith. Have to have God in your life.
Yeah.
Like God. I used to just say higher power, but it's like sometimes a higher power is evil. So it's like you don't just want to have a higher power. Like
Yeah.
it gets confusing, gets complex. I have elementary courses available, you know, soon for you guys, for the rest of y'all out here in the virtual spaces and not in my communities directly. So keep up with us, follow us for real, because that's the only way you're gonna be able to like know, and that's the only way you're gonna get the news letters of what's good. But we really got these things like for y'all. We want to share them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I love that. Loyalty. I think those are some great words. I'm definitely, I feel like faith and perseverance are like my two like combined words. If I could like, you know, mesh those up. Anybody got a word for me that means faith and perseverance in one, let me know.
Yeah.
Because that would be my word. Because yeah, I feel like on my journey, just it is like one perseverance, faith. Faith-perseverance. I like that. Because yeah, it's taken so it like in Dill's word with the love and with that song talking about the joys, the hurts, like when you're going through those low times, when like the joys are great, but sometimes those joys will feel very fleeting when it's like
heavy.
attached to a low that you about to drop into or that you've been treading the whole time. Like you can't even fully enjoy the joy because you've been dealing with this heavy load on the back end of it. And that's literally how my journey has felt. Like I've had great moments that I'm so grateful for. I've connected with incredible people. I've made great accomplishments in this, you know, first 3 decades of my life. But I have also been called to carry a very heavy load with that as well on the other side of it. And so even though like to other people, it's like we see with the Instagram effect, right? Like people looking like they're living this happy lives, but it might not be all the way what it seems on the other side of the screen. And I feel like that's kind of been my journey where like I was always able to put on the face and put on the, you know, making it look like it's all good all the time. And like on the back end. And this is just life general. I'm not saying I'm the only one that goes through this, but this has been my real journey. And I've dealt with so much on the other side of it that I've had to dig into faith that like is almost unfathomable if you haven't been through like real lows and like you got that
You
real
haven't been really
testimony, you know what I mean? If you ain't really broken before and you got testimony,
ain't really like dragged you.
yeah, okay, then you might not be able to connect with me on this one, but I've had to have a faith so deep to keep pushing through because there have been plenty of days. I had one a double with, there's been plenty of days where I was like, I'm done. I don't want to keep doing this, God. Like, this hurts. Like, this is hurting me more than I feel like it's helping me. And I'm grateful that I have my rock and my sister to also be that emotional support, spiritual guide for me to be like, you got this, girl. And just to release, like, so many of the heavy burdens that I'll be carrying from either what other people have put on me or what industry has put on me or what I have therefore put onto myself or allowed to stay attached to me and continuing to like peel those apart. And every time I choose that faith and I continue to persevere, I do see the fruits of my labor. I do enter a realm of heaven that I'm like, yes, this is it, God. And just
Frequency, baby, we gotta be tuned in.
yeah, just continuing for me in this space where I'm in now to really build out on those lessons that I've learned, to stay in that positive vibration, to keep that faith no matter how crazy it gets, how confusing it gets. And as believers in Jesus Christ, who we are so honored to celebrate and not only for every single day, but especially for his resurrection tomorrow. We got our Easter colors on today, y'all.
We don't play about our celebration.
Yeah, because seeing his strength and his journey, just to get a little preachy on y'all, it truly has strengthened
the darkest time.
it has strengthened me so much, both of us, but just speaking for me, it has strengthened me so much to see that this man was capable of making that kind of sacrifice in his life for me.
And that was love.
Okay. So it just makes me all the more grateful for the life that I get to live. And I know I got to keep battling it out and I got to be the heavyweight champ out here. I can't just fall down and die, and I'm not gonna. I'm gonna keep rising just like Christ.
Like you was telling us, so we like the phoenixes, Ash. When
Yes,
you remind me of the phoenixes. Y'all just
yes.
and it's right because we had to go through the fire and like fire. One of the things that I love about fire and being a fire sign, shout out to the fire signs and everybody who knows signs, period. Everybody who's in the mix of the conversation. But if you're not, welcome. But yeah, so being in the fire is something that consumes, but it also purifies, and so it's like just depends on the material of what you're really made of when you go through the fire. Like, are you just gonna get consumed? Because really it's only all of the the evil and the darkness and that side of life that again we don't want to keep experiencing and the torment of our humanity. Like that's what we need to let the fire consume, and then on the other side of we come out purified, and that's what we look at even in our traditions of how we celebrate things. And I love Dakota's little like elaboration and breakdown of her faith adherence. And I say for mine and my I'm trying to figure out what loyalty.
Loyalty.
My loyalty.
Woo.
Yeah, the love loyalty is like for me, I've just stayed loyal to love for real. And I've never let even the things that like y'all like I've been through some things now. And even if you really go and like you Google me and you look me up, like I could either wear that as shame every day, but like that happened. That those things happened to me. That's the stuff I'm sitting here talking about when I'm like, yo, I had to really fight for my life and survival and confusion. And I was battling battles people didn't know nothing about. But it was the people around the world, and again, my ancestors, my family, my bloodline, people who had been through things that were honestly even more unimaginable than what I go through, gave me strength every day. Just like, and so I stay loyal to them, even to this day, to all of my beautiful queens that come from my indigenous tribes as Afro-Indigenous people, and also from our motherland over in Africa. Like I got so empowered by my bloodline in the most egregious and tormenting and just scary years of my life, and then having to process those years. Like it's scary. It's first scary going through it. It's scarier processing it.
Yes.
Woo.
It's scarier processing
Yes. That other ooh,
because
yes.
it's real when you process it. And then like, oh man, the pain and the hurt and like
Oh man, like it's the stuff like when I used to go like see certain things in church, right? I grew up in Catholic type Lutheran churches that we went to, so we didn't get to really be around like the South energy, like and a lot of like what our family grew up in, like getting to go to these different Baptist churches and stuff. And now in our adult life, like we get to go and be introduced, and it's so beautiful. And we're Potter's House members now, so we get to see, we get to be in the vibes. But you didn't see people just like wailing. You didn't see the Holy Spirit just coming out of people where we came from. And so when I would see that, even in my adult life, I'll be like, what gets a person to that point of like releasing this kind of energy, like in front of all these people? You know what I'm saying? Like being so vulnerable. Like I was fascinated and intimidated by the experience, like altogether. Like, oh my gosh, like I pray that I'm never that person, kind of thing, right? Like is in our own little weird biases and judgments just from the fear and shame of what society has conditioned us to look at things as, and then therefore feel and not desire for ourselves, not understanding what we're actually rejecting in the experience of truly allowing our spirit to process pain and to give it to God, and like what it really looks like, and to process again whatever traumas and things that we're going through. So now I am that woman, and I absolutely love it. And even when we get to do different powwows, because in the spirit and in the effort to really like revive and preserve like our indigenous roots and cultures, we do powwows, and we like to praise the Lord in our powwows, and we will really have those emotional releases where we let our spirit like have that. And when it comes to even just the places where I found love on and off the court. Like basketball led me to so many amazing people. Like even in Vegas, I have so many people I can shout out. I have so many people I can shout out across the country and really the world, to be fair. Even right now, just with Vegas on my mind, I'm thinking about like Heroes League and Jen, and like again how basketball led me to these incredible places with them, and what we even get to continue to build today, and then all these other incredible platforms and people that we've gotten to connect with and speak our minds with. And for whatever reasons we may have been invited, and we may have not always been exactly, I don't know, the best representations of ourselves, always speaking our mind, but at least we can be honest and accountable about how we're processing those things, and then ultimately how we navigate it and continue to represent ourselves or stay true to ourselves moving forward. You know what I mean? And again, it's been so huge, like that love for real, because I had to love myself. That was the thing. Like that was the thing that was ultimately missing for me. I didn't know that when it came down to how life was being navigated through all my crises. I did not realize all the ways I was not able to love my own self. And again, the ways that the world actually made me like hate myself, and how all the industries made me hate myself and made me believe I wasn't ish, and made me believe I was things that I'm absolutely like the antithesis of. Even that doesn't seem far enough. Like, when it comes to these things out here. So it's like that love though kept me covered. And that love reminded me that it was still gonna love me even if I was all those things. Mm.
Ooh, man, let me get my
Mm.
tambourine for that. Ooh, oh, oh, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Said pray in church, y'all. Yeah. What can we
yes,
say? Pray
Lord.
is the season to
Yes,
but
Lord.
yeah, that's the real tip right there. Yeah.
Ooh, man, like it's like how certain things just hit your soul, just like just ooh, like just
We could use some music, girl. Girl, we're so excited because we're getting ready to start doing some of our like. I wasn't sure if we were gonna say this here. If Dakota was just gonna drop it off in her next interview, but since we, encroaching in our final minutes here, I'm gonna let everybody who made it here know, because y'all some real ones, okay? That yeah, we are doing private listening parties, girl. It is going up, and we're like, oh man, this again, long time coming. We've been working on this vault for a long time. One of the poetry little pieces that I have up for my subs, it talks about how like, you know, yes, we've been keeping you guys waiting, but like it's not been in vain. It's like my catalog is my story. It's our story, and it's so sacred. It's so sacred. This is a sacred story, y'all. Like again, please don't play us because we're not in like industry enough or close in the industry, so you don't want to recognize all that we really are like to the culture, like because
yeah, we're humble and we're grounded, and we want to be able to stay that, but we also want to be able to recognize and be recognized for real, like too, like in this space.
And that's why we talk it in that.
That's why we talking that talk.
that
Yeah,
talk in the records. We
We do.
popping art. You know what I'm saying? We're popping it.
we are. We popping it, and
Popping.
again, like if you're gonna judge, then judge kindly. Okay, judge kindly because karma's real.
Yeah.
Let 'em
And
know.
ultimately we know who we are.
Yeah,
We know who we are. So
yeah, we do. And honestly, it's like I feel like I get chills because I just know people are gonna, like you said, like it's gonna be soul shaking. You know, it's gonna hit them in their soul for real. And I think they'll just appreciate that our sound is not only organic, yeah, that good. Well, not only is it organic, but it's also authentic. And they're also, we make hits. We make hit records, you know, because that's what we were in the mix of, that's what we were in the presence of, you know, in our musical journey. We've literally gotten to be in the company and even learning directly under as like the underlings of some of the best
the number one
in
game.
the game. Okay.
Oh.
Number ones in the game. And I'll never forget like some of our first real industry development, like when we were doing like 12-hour studio sessions and just cutting all these crazy records and, you know, had all this crazy stuff going on. And don't get me wrong, it's like that space again, you realize where you really dance with the devil and where you sell your soul, like what it looks like. Yeah, you realize, and I realized, oh, I don't want to sell my soul. We gonna come back to not this, you know, like not in this way.
No.
Like we learned that if this was gonna be the culture, if this the bunny rabbit and the fox, right? You know, so ultimately we chose up and chose to continue to go independent, but so grateful. It was literally like going and getting to like climb Everest. And it was kind of like, great, I did it, don't need to do it again.
Yeah, you know, unless God
But we
really
learned so
wills
much.
us to go there,
But
we're
yeah,
not
yeah,
really trying to go.
I'm not trying to go there in the same way, right? I would
Yeah.
have like better resources. I don't know. But it's like, you know, this time we're more equipped, you know, to handle the altitude and the freezing cold, kill you weather. But yeah, it was like during the first phase of it, though, I will say it was definitely imperative to some of the actual foundational, like, exposure that we got to understand what it meant to truly be an artist, because we were always just kind of just doing things in the natural nature of our artistry and
And
we
our
were never,
creativity.
yeah, we were never really able to be incredibly business minded. Like we were, but we weren't savants, you know, like we kind of, it was like freaking glue and popsicle sticks, you know, like and how we were figuring out how to ultimately conduct our business. Because the problem with having to like be your own representation a lot of the time is that there's not a protective barrier between like the talent and the entity trying to work with or book the talent or whatever. And so when you don't have that medium of protection, you can just get taken advantage of a lot. And like, you know, certain lingo or jargon or contracts or whatever will like go over your head. You'll sign some stuff without even looking at it if you're really like desperate enough for a situation. And so thankfully we did have the ability to like read over things and contractually and whatever. But yeah, there's certain things you couldn't negotiate. Like when it came to we doing this or not, you know, when it came to the music world. And I'm grateful we signed on. I don't have like any regrets necessarily in my life. I have things I never want to live again. I have things I don't want anybody else to ever have to live. But I don't have any regrets because I truly wouldn't have the wisdom that I have today. I wouldn't be the material that I am today. And you guys will hear that in the music and you're going to see it in the art. And that's the other thing I'm excited about is like getting to actually see the visuals too, like with what worlds we take you in. Because like we said, we're visual people. You know what I'm saying? And we're like literally like the doll baby prime time original supermodel. So when it comes to the influencer models, what do they call us? Instagram models?
The IG models, hey.
Y'all still hating? Because everybody want to be Instagram. Right, hold on now. Instagram modeling is way better than real modeling, people. You do not have to suffer in the same ways, okay? And you can get to edit your own pictures. So if you need to.
We
I'm
all
just saying-
know.
Look, I'm not just talking about editing on some like, oh, you make yourself look like catfish. No, I'm talking about if you're a true artist,
Yeah.
like you see how to
What
do
you
certain
want.
edits, how you want the lighting, how you want the and with AI tools today, you can do all that yourself. And we have some AI tools coming soon for you. So yeah, like even in the Instagram model space, like I say it's better because frankly, like again, there's that pressure from the industry when you have the
the man, when you work for the man, and you got to go be a part of the agencies, and you got to play like, honestly, it's like a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Not like medieval, but it's a little like archaic to me in a way. Like it's a little like,
Yeah.
and there's a word that I'm missing that's like in my bag that stands for like kind of like outdated. But either way, whatever, it'll come to you later.
Yeah.
When I don't.
You just have so much more creative control when you are in that Instagram influencer space. And some people, they need that structure and more power to them. I'm actually somebody that's pretty compatible with that. Like I kind of like having structure, which is why I appreciate having her as like the firstborn leader in this duo because I kind of like having some structure. But also like being able to like freely express who you want to be out in the world. You have that control over yourself when you're in this influencer space. Whereas when you are working for the man, you don't have control or say over that. And it's scary.
It can be.
One of the good, like one of the best examples I can give for anybody that ever watched America's Next Top Model when they do the makeover trend. And like you have no say if they're gonna like shave your head or like color your eyebrows.
The women that are built for that, like again, they're built
They're built
different.
for that. Respect.
But yeah, it's supposed to respect on the Instagram models too. Like
Exactly.
here,
I'm just saying,
we recognize y'all. Y'all go to the
give us
credit. You got it like that.
Look, you gonna see me with y'all. Just know, I'm one of the ones you can shave my head. You can color my brows. I'm with it. I'm with it. But I do, like Dylan saying, have such a great appreciation for where I've come from, the space that I helped curate, which was the influencer, the model of Instagram as we know it today.
Of like being a model in your own imaginary world. It was kind of like people like the original disrespect was just like, oh, just because you have a camera phone, you get to be a model. And then as a model, like because we come from real modeling, like SAG after type background, right? So industry folk know what I'm talking about. But we have experienced the industry of modeling. We literally grew up on magazine covers. Again, we have receipts, y'all can check them out. So we aren't like, unfamiliar with again the game and the respect that you still have to have on like the true like modeling landscape of the industry of it for real. Because I do think that a lot of the ladies and like the influence and that's why I actually didn't used to like to be called an Instagram model because the connotation was pretty on point when it comes to the ladies who were claiming they were Instagram models and they were just like a little bit delusional because it was like, yeah, you thought because you created an image of yourself online that you could really like step and like be sized up and like do the same things that models who literally have to put in so much work, have to put in so much dedication. And there are some ladies that sure it comes easy too. There's an exception to everything, but ultimately when you are going for greatness and these brands and the top models of the world, like they don't play about like, oh my gosh, like the taste levels, the details, like they don't play. Like every little executionable detail of their vision is gonna be done and you are just a prop and an object to like make it happen, So
Prop me up.
yeah. I'm like very particular. I'm gonna be very partial, but Dakota, she's really about that life, like that's why I love our dichotomy because it's like I get to be kind of like the sisterager and I get to like sit there and still be in my Instagram model bag and like be an influencer in the wild, take my selfie and be front row, capture all.
You might have seen our Instagram posts if you followed us for some real time. Like we always had that dynamic. It'd be like Dylan in the background making the business calls, Dakota walking the runway.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. It works for us.
It does. We love it.
And I'm here for it. So, like I said, I've been rocking with y'all since dollbaby_duo on Twitter. If you know, you know. So, and this leads to my question. So, I always say Bonafide means authentic and unique. So, what makes Miss Dylan and Dakota Bonafide, and what makes your story stands out?
I'm authentic and unique. I think what makes us bona fide is that we are a package of the highest quality divine material that was so divine that it had to come in two.
because it couldn't, just be one. There was too much greatness going on. So, and we're a package that is truly capable of anything we put our mind to, actually. And not just that, but we do it, we live it. We don't just say it. So I think what makes us bona fide is the fact that number one, you're never gonna have another Dylan and Dakota Gonzalez. And in fact, we're not just like rare talents of an era. We're rare talents of a timeless stamp, because you don't just have talent and the packages of people like we are, where you have not only this very obvious surface level superficial side of the beauty that we have, but you actually also have the true depth and character of a person who has not only the heart, but also the intellectual capacity and knowledge to really make an impact and a change in the world, and is willing to sign up for that. That's what makes us bona fide. We different. We are built different, and we are generational talents. We are those gems you was talking about, Ash, that like you don't just find. Like you can't just like make this. Like God did this for real. God put this together for real. And so that's what makes us divine. And that's why we're so talented too. Again, think about all the things we just gone over discussing about ourselves. And yeah, we really like that. We are like very talented in every area. Like people, I'll think to myself, like, damn, y'all are underachievers. Because I think to myself, how are you guys not more capable? Like, I just decide to do things for myself. I decide to, be the person who's willing to inconvenience myself and make things harder for myself to do it for myself, until I finally really have to get to the point where I've expanded myself and my operation so much to where we have to bring other people in because it's bigger than me now. But ultimately, that's, I say, what makes it bona fide. What you got?
Ooh, she's following that up. Gonna be tough. No, she said it so well, and I think our authenticity of like being so willing to genuinely be ourselves, to speak truth to power, to to uphold ourselves as the women that we do with the class that we have, and like she said, the heart that we have, the generous people that we are, the compassionate people that we are. I think all of those sides of us that people haven't been able to peel back the layers of because they've been so hypnotized by the image of what we put out there into the world.
And therefore, what they think based on that image. What they
Yeah,
assume.
yeah. And all the stereotypes that come with those archetypes and those aesthetics. And so I think our willingness to show up as ourselves, to be ourselves, to be so fearless.
Ooh, that's crazy. I was literally, that word was like telepathy to your brain. Right as I was thinking,
We're
fearless.
telepathic as well. Add that to our
See, we have telepathy. It's real. Twin telepathy. And just
So,
telepathy, period.
yeah, I think that fearless nature and that authenticity of who we are and the willingness to be ourselves. I can't say that enough.
In every season.
It's so easy to want to just copy and paste yourself, copy and paste your personality, copy and paste your look,
Be who you
copy
think
and paste.
somebody else wants you to be.
Exactly.
Be accepted. Be
What
someone
Dylan was saying earlier about you really have to figure out for yourself, do you just want something because someone's telling you you want it? And I had to check myself in that same way. I check myself in that same way every day. Matter of fact,
we going through our boot camps, like
because I saw this thing, like I was like, I want this thing so bad, right? I want to achieve these goals so bad. And I had to check myself and be like, and I saw this thing actually on Instagram. So Instagram, you are good for some things, right? And it was like, do you want it because you really want it, or do you want it because you want other people to see you have it? And I was like, ooh, like dang. So that's just a little gem for y'all to think about, really go there with yourself and like, what is it that you want out of this life? And we're fearless. We're gonna go for what we really want for in life. That's also what makes us so bona fide. We going after everything that we know we're meant to have.
well, that we are not only owed, but that we own.
Yeah,
Like we know our divine inheritance.
exactly. And we going after it fearlessly. Okay, we going after. We've been saying, and not just for us ourselves. By the way, we're as altruistic as it gets too, which has made us terrible women, business women in early years.
Yeah,
So anybody who's incredibly altruistic, you know what I'm talking about.
yeah, which means you do things out of the kindness of your heart
And
and
expect
expect
nothing
nothing
back. You're genuinely giving, yeah, and don't expect anything in return. And we've been riding this ride for a long time. I remember a podcast we did with Ballers World actually, where they were asking us about like the wrongs of the NCAA and how we felt we were wronged in this space of having to choose up. Like we couldn't keep playing ball because we felt like that was wrong. We felt like we never should have had to make a decision like that. Yeah, we felt like that was wrong. And we were like, but you know what? We'll take the reins and we'll giddy up. So let's go. And we still here
And we'll
today.
stand 10 toes down.
We still here today rocking it. And so people, look, they can say what they want to say, but those that really rock with Dylan and Dakota, just know
what's up.
we ain't going nowhere.
And shout out to y'all.
We ain't going nowhere. Shout out to y'all.
Be
We
in this
be
thing.
back and even better than we've ever been. And we only gonna keep rising. That's what
And
we're
we
meant
want
to
to, and
do.
like everybody who's in our energetic field and who's in our mix and who's in our vortex is only going to rise too.
Exactly.
For real.
Bonafide, baby.
Bonafide.
Y'all better let them
Bonafide,
know.
baby.
We need to make a theme song, Ash.
We're making the theme song, yeah.
I definitely appreciate that. Can you let the folks know where they can find you and support you, and there's any upcoming event? Well, I know some events have. Well, I can't say any events, but any
On
upcoming
the team
events.
knows right now.
Oh, I'd be like,
I
if they know, they know. But where can they find
Okay,
y'all?
this is exclusive. Our events are exclusive, people. Sorry, this is not like a free 99, and this is well, some things will be free, but it's still exclusive. Like it's not just for everybody, right? We have got a requirement, an energetic prerequisite, and just taste and class. Okay, so but it's still big vibes. But yeah, so where you can find us, you guys, you can find me on Instagram, Dylan.Gonzalez. And if you guys go check out my Instagram and you guys go subscribe, you will not be disappointed. But you can also find all of my other channels on that channel. I got Snapchat, I got TikTok, and we have Twitch. Yeah, so you guys can go check that out on my Instagram page, Dylan.Gonzalez. Hers, I'll let hers.
Yes, you can find me at Dakota.Gonzalez. That's Gonzalez with 2 Z's, so Gonzalez on Instagram. And I will be putting my Snapchat and my TikTok information in my bio. So definitely subscribe. Definitely go follow, go subscribe. You guys
Shoots unlocked. We got some things in the vault that as we get our subscriber numbers,
You really
up,
don't
guys will
want to
unlock.
miss that. Okay, you don't.
Yeah, so we're excited. Some of the events that we have coming up will all be announced there. Because yeah, you don't want to miss this. We got listening parties, we got hoop sessions, we got skills clinics, we got socials, and mixers and fun creative workshops. So you guys really don't want to miss all the time that we can have together, like for real. If you guys are on a space where you want to be in harmony, like we were talking about earlier, you guys want some inspiration, you guys need some gems to be dropped on you here and there. You guys need an energetic covering. We got y'all. But first you just gotta make sure you follow us. And then like I said, keep up because you don't want to miss out.
Y'all be sure to follow the queens themselves, Miss Dylan and Dakota Gonzalez at Dylan.Gonzalez, Dakota.Gonzalez on Instagram. Y'all be sure to follow them even on the TikTok at the Dylan Gonzalez and Dakota Gonzalez. But instead of the O, it's the 0 for the first Dakota and the first Gonzalez. So
Yeah.
I be making sure I be following.
Thank you, Ashley, girl.
This is why Ashley got promoted because she's all the forces. She's just the boss. Like what?
Yeah.
And be sure to follow them on Twitch at Dylan and Dakota. So one word, Dylan and Dakota. So be sure to follow the queens and be sure to check out the live replay of Bonafide podcast, episode 222, featuring the one and only Dylan and Dakota Gonzalez. Be sure to check that out later after this showing. So also be sure to big shout out to Dylan Dakota for this is truly amazing. And I'm stuttering right now. My bad. This is a blooper. Hello. Big shout out to Dylan Dakota for coming on the podcast, share y'all stories and being on this guest. It's really, really so much and appreciate it, and just means a lot. And just thank you guys for real. And big shout out to everybody who has tuned in. You guys are so appreciated. Thank you guys for tuning in.